Come get your money. Paylake carp fishing with Donald Barrow. Hi everybody, it's Donald Barrow. We're going to talk about Paylake setups. I had some subscribers give me a call, chat with me, and I'm I'm flattered. I get a lot of new carp fishermen, and they have questions, and I certainly have answers because I love to talk carp fishing, and that's why I have this channel. For no other reason is I just enjoy it. Um, my Paylake carp setup is probably the most popular out there. I use two hooks and a number 4 uh, three-way swivel. I had to look it up. This is about the 15th take. Behind the scenes, I recorded this the other day, and the video sound quality was awful. I misplugged the cable, so I'm going with this setup this time. Hopefully the sound quality is better. This is I didn't have the size, and I said not size 8, which is too big. This is starting with as a size 4 swivel, which is a small swivel. A lot of guys will use the cheaper ones, and I will tell you the difference between a cheap swivel and a medium quality swivel is what I use. I say that because you can find some with ball bearings and salt water about this size that are 120-pound class. Couple bucks a bearing, a swivel. I'm not saying you need that. I steer away from the very cheap ones. Find them on Walmart or somewhere like that, and they're really cheap. But what I found happened, and I can't really show it here, I don't believe, but the little barrel part of the swivel will bend. It won't break. I don't think I've ever broke a swivel, but it bends, and then the quality of the spin is no good. It binds, and if you have a swivel that binds, you're just going to get knotted. And if you get knotted, you're wasting time. You're wasting time out of the water. Your bait's not in the proper position. So for pennies more, seek out. I bought these at a flea market. Guy specializes in catfishing, and he had bags of these, and that was like sold. I bought them all because it's like quality swivels. I think you got some at Sports Authority. They had some. Just seek out a little better than, I'm not even sure the brand name, but it's, the cheaply packaged, cheap three-way swivels. You're spending money, you're investing money to win money, and this is a cheap investment to do it right. Most people nowadays are using monofilament. I'm back up. Most people are using braided line, and I use braided line. I've said it 100 times, I think, already, but Thomas Bailey at Mud Pigs and Tom Matthews over at Wicked, they both are having tied hooks setups, and seek them out. You can do your own, but the quality is second to none. The wrapping, it's worth it. It's worth it when you're spending a lot of money. The High Rollers Tour is $1,500. Elite is at least $250, $350, $400. And where I'm at in North Carolina, there are some big money shows. And not to invest in your pickups, which is where the rubber hits the road, really, is crazy. I'll go a little bit more into this and tie it together. I'll just say that all these are tied on, and I can't do this very well with the setup I'm using, but you essentially push the loop end through your swivel, and then you loop it over, uh, like this, and pull it tight. It's hard to describe, easy when you do it. And you get basically two no knots that flex, and then with a good three-way swivel, you won't hang up. You won't get your two hooks wrapped on each other. Because if they do, you just wasted a lot of time. Because usually when I throw out for an hour, and I throw out, and if it wraps up, tangles up, I've wasted an hour. You know, saying what's wrong with my bait? I'm not getting a hit. What's wrong is your bait is tangled, and no carp's going to hit that. So just food for thought. The number one solver is a single swivel. Well, I'll say this: I'm using braided line in my leader, but there's still plenty of guys that make their own, and they make them with monofilament. And what they do is they actually put one wrap over the other on a single barrel swivel. Done correctly, and this was a challenge for me. Done correctly, you can see these hooks. The leader naturally separates, so you can use two hooks and monofilament. I've seen this most at Creekside. A lot of the old timers, and they don't all just fish Creekside. Creekside's a gathering point from there's guys on the west, and there's guys in the Piedmont that come together, and that seems like whenever I fish there, I always see guys from out of state. It's a destination, and so you get a lot of ideas, and you see a lot of different styles. Creekside doesn't have buffalo, and like I said, I'm not going to get into hooks, but they use wide gap hooks. If you're in a pond that just has yellows and no buffaloes, you can go bigger on your hook. My perfect hook size is size 2. If I was just in a buffalo pond or concentrated on them, I could go to a 4. I've even fished a 6. Get somebody to tie the 6s, because getting that line through that teeny little hook's hole, it's worth the price to pay. Again, so I've seen monofilament. It's a little challenge for somebody that doesn't do it a lot. I'm sure if you tie it a lot, it's much easier. It gets easier to get them. You got to lay the loops so that they're opposite. They fall opposite so that the hooks will spread. If they don't, it'll be real tight and it'll be useless. So there's hooks. Like I said, you can always throw a single hook, single barrel hook, a barrel swivel, and a single hook. I use a lot of single hooks if I'm corner fishing, or if there's obstructions, or if the bottom just feels funny, and you're snagging stuff. Use a single hook, and that solves a lot of problems. If I'm fun fishing, I definitely use a single hook, just because if I'm fun fishing and I'm by myself, I can get the hook, the hooks in the fish, so I can get the fish out of the net, and that's usually the biggest problem. You bend up more hooks in the net, the second hook, than anywhere else. You got a big fish, the trailing hook, or the hook not in the fish's mouth is flopping around. It always gets caught, and you put a lot of stress on your net where you can tear it up, and the hooks where you can bend it. And the worst thing is not finding or seeing that bent hook, because ultimately later in the night a fish will bite that hook and you'll lose it, and you'll go, that fish bent my hook. And it's not true. You bent it in the net and you didn't see it, dummy. And then you just lost a good fish. How do I know? Yeah, I know. All right. Finish up with the setup. I got my simulated rod here. Simulated because I just put line on it, so it was opportune to have a short little rod for demonstration. you start with the weight. The weight's the first thing you put on. And how good do I do it? Hey, got it in there. Okay. Weight, I was showing you the most common weight. Uh, Wicked makes a cool weight. It's a little thicker, shorter, and some people use barrel uh, weights. But by far, this they call it a no roll sinker, 1 ounce, is the most popular. Most lakes in North Carolina, they have a 1 ounce limit. Uh, some lakes maybe 1.5. Wild carp guys, they go with big weights and can throw, because they have, they're throwing in a big lake and they got to throw it out hundreds of yards. Or where in a pay lake, 100-yard cast is, there's not many ponds that have 100-yard cast. Um, so you don't need that distance. 1 ounce is perfect in most cases. If the number two would be 3/4 ounces, and I'll throw 3/4 again if I'm on a corner spot, or if I'm in an older lake and the bottom's mushy, and so I just I don't want my weight buried in, so I'll lighten my weight. But the minute the wind picks up, I'm back to a 1/4 ounce, or I'm sorry, a 1 ounce weight. Okay, so I got my 1 ounce weight. The second thing I'm sliding on is a bead, and I've seen people skip this, and I can tell you from experience, because I saw it, the wear from the weight, and I'll illustrate this when I tie it, onto your knot that you connect your terminal tackle, your swivel, is real. You cast all night, and if that weight is banging up against the most important knot you tie, the knot to this swivel, it will cause damage to the knot, and that bead prevents that. I'm going to I tie a uni knot, and what I tie is not important. What is important is that you look up 100% knot, and what that means is that the knot is rated to the strength of a line. So if you 20-pound line, the knot should be rated for 20 pounds of pressure, because it's the weakest link in this whole setup is this knot and that connection. So it becomes the most important. I tie a uni knot. I used to fish saltwater a lot as a young man, and that's the knot. I used to tie all the knots. I tied the World Fair, the double, improved cinch, and overhead knot, and all kinds of knots. And I could tie all the knots, but you need a knot. You need, essentially, you basically in carp fishing need one knot, 100% knot that you connect to your three-way swivel or single barrel swivel, and as long as it's 100%, doesn't matter what knot you tie. The most important thing is that you can tie it correctly. You can tie it at 100% every time in the middle of the night at 2:30 in the morning. You get that last fish at 1:30 in the morning. It's your last hour and you catch a fish. You got 20 minutes to go. You got to get a line out fast, but oh crap, the hook's bent. Chop it off and retie it fast. That knot's got to be right, and you got to be able to tie it fast. And the light isn't perfect in a lot of places. With all that together, that's why I say learn to do one knot and learn to do it right every time. Learn to do it fast and pretty much do it blindfolded. Like one of those karate movies, blindfold yourself so you tie the knot. I could do it. I'm pretty sure I could do it. I'm not gonna do it because I could look pretty foolish doing it. But that's the case. You really got to be able to pick 100% knot and always tie it. I think I beat that to death. So let's get it together. So here's my setup. Review. 1 ounce weight, a bead, tie on the 3-way swivel. The rest, I purchased these Paylake setups from, I'm not sure if these are Thomas Bailey or Wicket. Thomas ties some for Wicket. I don't know if he's the only tire, but it's a beautiful, beautiful setup. I put a bead on one of my hooks. I do that. I'll tell you exactly. I'll show you why I do that, and you'll understand. I'm going to bait these with some classic pickups. Even though I do have a pig flipper. I was going to say, even though I fish for pig flippers, I'm not going to use one of them, but I am. Seems a waste for testing, but okay, here you go. This was pig flipper. Oh crap, I'm giving away the good stuff. Pineapple, butternut. You got me. I'm seeing my best. All right, pineapple butternut, and I have a bead on it. Then plain puff. Somewhere here, I think right there, but I'm doing this so you can see it in the water. That's why I went with the yellow. Is a plain puff. These are arrowhead puffs, pretty standard at every carp pond in North Carolina. Carries bags of arrowhead puffs. They're inexpensive and they're the standard. You can buy them dyed. You can dye them yourself. I tell you though, they're not the easiest thing to dye. They shrink up. You want to put some kind of oil like Carol syrup or something, and you got to really get it right, or these shrink up and become hard as rocks. It's perfectly fine to throw them right out of the box, or you can dip them. My favorite dip right now are the Sinful Grape and Sinful Strawberry, and I know I sound like a wicketed recording guy, but I tell you, you won't find a better dip. Personal of me, but now I'm killing them dipping. And I've never been a dip guy. Unfortunately, my fingernails pay for it because I come home and scrub, but it's hard to get that stuff off. Pickups, like I said, these are called pickups. Usually the round little ones are made from kicks. You can see the other box is pops. And then I don't have a package of the arrowhead. You can look it up on the internet if you want. I have a buddy who lives in Pennsylvania, and he ordered them off the internet because he had to have them. So, and it was probably a smart move. He's a wild carp fisherman. Okay, so we got our Paylake set up. A lot of guys, but not me, and not all guys, will put both balls, both pickups, into their pack bait and pack. I generally just put one bait. The reason that I like to use a puff or a pop, these are 2 high float baits. And when I say high float, they float up high in the water column. The kicks will fall down. And even though that sounds, well, then you want the high float. Some guys, and a lot of times, you don't. You want your bait to fall and stay right in the pile. So when the yellow carp comes on, hopefully I don't pack this too much because I want it to break like in real fast. Okay, I throw my cast, I hit the water. Right. One of the reasons I like I'm going to adjust the camera. Stop this. Is I buy them so that I have flexibility, and I put on different ones, and then you'll find, hey, they're hitting yellow tonight, they're hitting the pineapple, or they're hitting the strawberry, or grape. You'll see a lot of grape. I'd be throwing grape. I have puffs and pops and grape flavors, but they're too dark. You probably wouldn't see them. Well, that was my thought. Maybe you could have. But back to me. Hang on. I'm not sure how much my microphone was picking up, so I'll just end it this way. This is a Paylake setup. You see this. This is nothing special. This is standard fare for Paylake fisherman, uh, and that's about all I have to say. Gonna appreciate my sponsors, Pig Flippers and Wicket, and Thomas Bailey over at Mud Pigs, and got more videos coming up. This weekend is a 3-day weekend, and I hope to get out a lot. Oh, I threw a ball of rice, and I just wanted to say, this was the beer rice, the malt liquor rice, and it's over a month old, and I just packed the perfect ball. It's ready to throw. It smells good. I could use it this weekend, and most likely I will. I'll fish several different lakes, and some lakes they're on rice, other lakes they're on oats. You get there's no magic. They're going to be on this or that, and they'll work on every lake. You kind of got to be adaptable. So I hope I'll do a what's in the bucket. Who knows how many of those? Because going to a lot of places this weekend, and reach out if there's questions. I enjoy making these videos, so thank you. Okay, let's